All right, guys, I am here with Beardo, my boyfriend, and he has generously agreed to demonstrate some DDLG techniques. So we got 4 techniques on a list. Good start. All right, so David, do you want to say anything about how you do it before we begin?
Sure. The one thing I can think of that I want to say is we're not recommending you use this on the female intern at your job, right? We're talking about, in a relationship, somebody who enjoys this kind of dynamic.
Good point.
Okay, so first one we have on the list is pet names.
Yeah. Okay, so this is probably like the most basic way you could probably just start testing it out, don't you think? It's kind of like level 1
Yeah.
on a scale of like 1 to 10, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
of intensity. So, although it can be like quite intense, especially because certain of these pet names like hold a lot of power for women. Like I know for me, lots of them held actually like a lot of power. Like I would just be fantasizing about them a lot actually. And I actually see on TikTok like same thing for girls. Like at this point pretty much people know about how many, not all, girls enjoy the term good girl in kind of like a sexual situation. And like I'll see girls on TikTok just freaking out about that being used on them, and that's kind of how I was too.
Freaking out in a good way.
Freaking out in a good way, like it's so hot, it's so intense, they cannot deal. And that one kind of like wore off for me a little bit. But like when I was younger, like in my early 20s and stuff, it was the same for me. That was just like a total mindgasm because it was so kind of like violating and felt so like taboo and wrong to me. So anyway, so this is kind of like an expansion on that theme.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll just like demonstrate some.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, hello, princess. Hi, sweetie. How you doing, baby? You happy? You comfortable? Right? And there's something I don't even know how to describe, like the tone, like the lilt, maybe, in your voice seems to be pretty important.
Yeah, it is. It's got to have like a slightly creepy quality. It doesn't have to, I guess, but it can definitely enhance it. It's a little bit creepy and violating.
So the cool thing about pet names is you can just like throw it in any situation where you feel like you want to, bring that DDLG into it.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, we're going to describe 3 kind of situations to use, these DDLG things, but the pet names is just kind of universal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I can use it in these 3 situations that I'm talking about. I can use it when you're mad at me, which is not one of the 3 that we're about to list.
So, like, how would you do that?
Well, like maybe if I accidentally banged your head with the car trunk,
That actually happened the other day, yeah.
That would be one of the 3 situations I'm thinking of, actually. But if you were mad at me, you're like, David, why'd you do that? Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. Did I hurt your head, princess? Yeah. And you can really like turn the whole situation very quickly.
That's true. Like, it will have just kind of like an instant effect, because instead of getting mad, all of a sudden, like me, or probably another girl, I can't say for certain, but it's probably a little bit similar, because lots of girls are into this, you'll just be like, suddenly a wave of just kind of like tenderness and warmth and love and everything you've kind of been craving just like sweeps over you. And so you kind of forget like being mad because you're like, oh, this is this makes up for it times like 10. So that's kind of how I feel, at least. I'm just like, oh, I really needed this. Like, so if I guess I had to get my injured in order to get this, I'll take it. So yeah.
Okay, should we move on to 2?
Okay. Yeah, and can you like just list some of the names that you sometimes call me?
I thought I did, like princess, baby, sweetie, sweetheart, bunny, you know, any kind of animal really is fine. Darling, kitten, sure.
Sometimes you even do like really weird ones, like I've never heard before, like sugar plum and stuff. I'm like,
Sure.
isn't that from you know, I've last heard that used in
Anything
the night
that
before
like
Christmas.
old Southern ladies call people is probably good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that lilt you were talking about, it kind of makes it slightly humorous, and so you can kind of just, you know, you're not being serious, like you know that it's kind of like half a joke, and so I feel like that gives you, it kind of makes it like fun, playful, and almost like a teasing thing as opposed to just straight up serious, so I can kind of accept it because I can laugh it off in a way. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So I feel like that's like part of the reason why that helps.
Pumpkin.
And like as you can see, like I'm half like really grossed out and like disgusted by these names because I'm just like, you did not just say that. What are you thinking? But then another part of me is kind of like, he's cherishing my feelings like his pride and joy. So
Honey
I'm
bunny.
kind of like torn between just being like, ew, can you, like you're disgusting, man.
Lamb chop.
Oh, no, David, not that. That's not a good one to call a vegan. Okay. But then part of me is just like liking it. So it's a very like love-hate thing, but somehow
Dumpling.
it's like, if it's one of, I don't know like the perfect like phrase to describe it, but it's like, you know, this is
Cutie.
yeah, all right, whatever. I was trying to make a point, but
I'm just throwing out
okay.
words.
All right, let's just move on.
Okay. All right, so the first kind of situation we have, or our number 2, is praise, but kind of like with an infantilizing quality to it. So I feel a little bad doing this one sometimes, because a lot of times it'll be like you do something really good, and something that I'm actually proud of you for, you know, like it's a good accomplishment, and yet somehow we like wind up in this spot anyway. So it's like, oh, did your video get 1 million views, sweetie? That's so nice, you know. Oh, you got 100 on that test? I knew you could do it, sweetie.
Yeah.
And you just, I don't even know if this is good, okay? I don't know if this is healthy for a relationship, but you're kind of like, almost like putting down her accomplishment at the same time that you're like praising her for doing great. You can also do it like, well, I mean, that's kind of more the next point. So,
Well, I feel like it's like a teasing thing, right? Like you're kind of like teasing me because you know that I know that that's kind of like an annoying thing to do, but at the same time, there's this DDLG aspect which a deep part of me craves, and so I'm kind of torn, and I'm like hating it and laughing. I mean, isn't that? I feel like that's just kind of the dynamic with teasing. Like, part of you likes it, part of you is laughing at it and laughing at yourself.
yeah.
And the other part of you, you know,
Right.
doesn't. So.
Well, the way, I don't know the key to it, but like, you're praising someone like you would praise like a 1-year-old for like walking across the room, you know? Or like a 5-year-old for, you know, completing the alphabet, or, you know, whatever it is. And so you kind of like putting her in that small, young, vulnerable place,
Yeah.
which can be enjoyable.
Yeah, it is. And that's kind of the key to it, is that, like, I'll just speak for myself. Much as I don't want to admit it, there's like a part of me that really craves feeling that way and feeling kind of like nurtured and taken care of and like small and vulnerable and innocent and protected. And so, like you're saying, this kind of puts you in that mindset, and even if you don't even like want to be put in that mindset, you can't help but like going there and half liking it.
You did it. Oh, that was such a great explanation, baby.
Okay.
You did such a good job explaining it.
All right.
You did.
Next.
You did a great job. I'm very proud of you. All right. Next one is like just flat out mocking. This one in particular is pretty good if she gets mad about something that's not really a big deal. You know? Like, oh, did I forget to put away the dishes? Oh, it must be so upsetting. You know, or just you can use this kind of like the praising, but about something that's actually small, you know. So it's just like, you parked the car, you know. I guess it's kind of like
That was good.
Yeah. Yeah. You did it. You parallel parked. I guess it's kind of like there's a fine line between the praise and the mocking sometimes. Like if you can praise her for something very small, and you overpraise it, and then it's more like mocking. Mm-hmm. Whereas what I was talking about before is praising something actually laudable, but you kind of infantilize it and treat it like it's something laudable that a 5-year-old has accomplished, rather than something laudable that an adult has accomplished.
Good point. And also, you mock me for my... Well, is this the same thing? Kind of how you mock me for, like, being shy? Or
oh, yeah.
my insecurities?
Yeah, sure. Something will come up and be like, oh, are you embarrassed, huh? You don't have to be shy, baby. You don't have to be shy with me. You don't have to be embarrassed. Do you want me to go talk to that man for you? Do you want me to go ask for more breadsticks?
Oh, God. Oh, okay. So, yeah. And, like, basically, he knows my insecurities. One of them, I'm shy, and I don't like to think of myself as shy. So he's constantly telling me, what do you even tell me just like that?
Well, one thing that can be good about this, actually, is you address the other person's insecurities or even shortcomings, and you just talk about it in this way, and it's like, it's okay. I know that you're shy or short or, quiet or, not good at driving or whatever these things are. These are not necessarily your shortcomings.
Well, I'm not short, but
Yeah.
I'm not that great at driving.
You're good. You just don't like doing it. But anyway, maybe somebody's not good at math or has a short memory.
Triggered. No, I'm all right, but that could be like a very triggering topic for a lot of women. But all right,
Sure.
Keep going.
So the point is, you address something that they're insecure about, and they don't really like you bringing it up because they're insecure about it. At the same time, you bring it up in this, just kind of like soft DDLG way, and you're saying, like, it's okay. I know this about you, and I still accept you, and I still love you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really powerful like very powerful actually. And to be honest, like I do feel it's actually helped me kind of with some of my insecurities in the most effed up way, because just it's kind of like exposure. The best cure for anxiety and most effective psychological treatment ever developed. Just the more you hear it and the more you kind of realize, like, okay, he accepts it, it's okay, and the more you kind of force yourself to confront it, the more the power kind of dissipates. So that has actually happened, I think, with some of the things you mocked me for, which is probably not therapist approved. But
I mean, a lot of things that we kind of do this kind of mocking DDLG thing with would be very difficult to bring up just like in a normal conversation. It would be like, you wouldn't want me like bringing up how bad you are at whatever. It's just like insulting. Why would you say that? Like whatever. But then we bring it up in this way, and it's just, for some reason, it just like softens it.
Yeah, and also this is kind of like I know something very core to all kind of like kink and like erotic experience. Maybe not all, but just a really big thing in like kink is you kind of want to feel exposed for your secret shames. And like that's what this kind of does, because it just gives you this really vulnerable feeling of being seen on like the deepest possible level for like your skeletons in the closet. And it also brings up so much like shame and embarrassment that it just heightens like the intense vulnerability of it all, and somehow makes it erotic because it's just so intense, like emotionally. So I don't think anyone really knows how that works exactly, but we all know that people like being humiliated, people like being embarrassed, people like being degraded, and this is kind of like a very minor form of that. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Next.
Yeah, next.
Okay, so then the next one maybe is the most obvious, where you just kind of like soothing, stroking, comforting, The funny thing is, some of the situations you can use this mocking for, you can also use this soothing for. Like, for instance, let's say you have a fight with your dad or something. Depending on how serious it was, if it was something really small, like, your dad took the knife that you were planning to use, and he cut his bagel when you were going to cut some of your fruit with it. I don't know. It's a weird example maybe, but something small but like kind of upset you, you can kind of like mock it and kind of like bring out like how small it really is, and help you get over it really fast. But if it's something serious, then you had like a serious fight with your dad, or he did something that really hurt your feelings, totally different situation. Then it's like, come here, why don't you come sit on Daddy's lap, okay? There I'm calling myself Daddy. Okay.
Well, that's another part we didn't even like bring up, the whole like daddy aspect. But okay, anyway, go on. Sorry.
Well, it's Daddy, Dom, little girl, DDLG. And you'll often like sit on my lap, and I'll kind of like just let you kind of like crumple against me, and just hold you, and just be like, "It's okay, sweetie. It's gonna be all right. I'm here for you. Don't you worry, princess."
Yeah, and as I don't know if you could see, but it does have like kind of this weird hypnotic effect, and it kind of just draws me into the vortex, as my listeners might refer to it. Yeah, like it has this hypnotizing effect. Like even as he was saying that, I'm kind of just like, okay, let's just hang out together. And it's so powerful, and I know this is powerful for a lot of other women. Like I was reading the book Outlander. Oh no. Okay. I was reading the book Outlander. The first time she gets to meet Jamie in Scotland in the past, first kind of like chemistry establishing scene they have together is she's all stressed, she's all exhausted, she's so confused because she just time traveled and she doesn't understand how this happened, and he takes her into his lap, gathers her up into his lap, and starts cooing to her, kind of like what he's doing, whispering, soothing her, and just being kind of that gentle giant who's like basically like this father figure in a way, like he's got it all under control. He's strong, he's going to take care of it, he's got this, he's going to handle it. All you need to do is just, he's just going to comfort you, then he's going to go off, take care of it. Like that's, you know what I mean?
Yep. And this is a woman written by a woman.
Oh yeah, indeed.
And a man written by a woman.
Man written by a woman. There you go. Yeah, for sure.
And this is a kind of a larger topic, but you might think like, oh, but aren't we supposed to treat women equally? Like I would never do this to a guy, And the short answer is it's not, everything is not 100% equal, 100% the same all the time, okay? So just because you wouldn't DDLG a guy doesn't mean that it's disrespectful to do it to your girlfriend, right? Mm-hmm. If she likes it, she likes it. If she wants to, just have a few moments in a day where she can just kind of feel like, well, like a little girl again, mm-hmm. Like somebody else is looking out for her, mm-hmm. Then that's great. And then maybe, that even gives her some strength or some reinforcement to go out there and, compete on an equal basis.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this is a really key thing that women want in relationships. This is like what a relationship means to a woman, basically, is they're going to find some guy they can let down their walls with to the point where they can be totally vulnerable to share those kind of like deep insecurities and their feelings that just kind of don't make sense, in the sense that, anyone's like feelings don't really make, perfect sense. Like if you're really upset, so it's like in those kinds of moments, you're really emotional. Like it's about, just being able to have someone cherish you, understand your emotions, show that they care about you at your worst. The old Marilyn Monroe quote, which women love to quote, if you can't accept me, handle me at my worst, you sure as hell don't deserve me at best. This is, him handling you at your worst, taking care of you when you're most emotionally raw and vulnerable and exposed. And when you're like that, it's like really powerful to have someone see you, accept you, love you anyway. That's like peak human experience right there. And I think that is what women are envisioning when they're like, I'm going to find my soulmate, because my soulmate will be able to do that for me. And so it's really sad in a way that so many men, especially like in my comments, there's like, oh, the moment you like get emotional with the woman or you let her see your soft side or whatever, she's just going to ditch you. I'm like, it's a little more nuanced than that, because, he's being soft, he's being nurturing, he's being vulnerable, but he's kind of doing it in like a masculine way, because it's kind of like the fatherly way.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like the more that you are, kind of strong and traditionally masculine and all that kind of stuff, the more you have room to then, change it up and, cry and, whatever, and show your softer side. Mm-hmm. Even like, say like, oh, like, I don't know if I can do it, I feel so bad, mm-hmm. Like women really love that stuff. But if you're kind of in that all the time, mm-hmm. where you're always like, oh, please comfort me, mm-hmm. Most women are not looking for that. They're looking mm-hmm. for the guy to be usually strong, mostly, masculine, the rock, and then when you have that going, as kind of the default. They love it if you also show kind of your soft, your own insecurities as well.
Yeah. Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because just one final thing, like when the guy does show those insecurities, then you can really feel like this peak experience yet again of like it. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just, women want that from like a masculine guy. They crave it because it's like this peak experience, like that you can really see into his soul, and then you have this truly passionate kind of like connection, like true vulnerability. It's so much more intense than just, he pays the bills and you clean the house or whatever.
Right. And we got a little bit off from the DDLG, where I would say like when you're being, the DD in that situation, you are like the masculine rock, so that's, I'm not saying that, when you're comforting her as the daddy dom, that you're then like, it's the same as being feminine or showing your insecurities or whatever.
Yeah.
We just changed topics just a little bit. I'm talking about like when you're actually like, oh, I'm having such a hard time at work, I'm struggling with my confidence, like you cry, like, maybe somebody in your family died and you cry, and it's great, it's, but we just want, women, I think, generally want that to be balanced with mainly being, masculine and strong and steady.
Totally. All right, I thought that was really good. I mean, I don't know if people will understand exactly what we're saying, but if they do, there's a lot of gold there, in my opinion. Hopefully it doesn't sound too conceited, but...
No.
All right. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us what you thought. Tell us if it didn't make sense, because maybe we can elaborate.
You can also maybe subscribe to Beardo Speaks.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe to Beardo Speaks.
If we get enough, if I get enough subscriptions over there, I'll start making videos as kind of a companion to Victoria's channel, masculine point of view.
Yep, and I really hope you do, Beardo, because I know you've got a lot of good things to tell them. So, all right, guys, bye.